Hey guys, I'm at the concert of the top K-pop group Asterisk. You have no idea how hyped I am for Jay's solo stage. He's literally my ultimate bias. Oh my gosh, there he is!
This song is for someone very special to me. When I'm with her, I get to just be me, a simple guy with big dreams and a love for music.
In this massive sea of fans, Jay's gaze locked onto mine. I swear I felt it. And then he started singing. No fancy backing track, just Jay, his guitar, and pure magic. Every note hit me straight in the heart, and I know we're meant to be. Okay, let's be real. How many of you have dreamed about something like this? Drop your honest takes in the comments. And I already know what you're thinking. Another Delulu fangirl, huh? But nah, I'm spitting facts. Yet getting close to your idol isn't some rom-com fantasy. I've fought through enough drama to write a whole season of Euphoria, okay? I'm Rina, your Korean-American girl with a borderline unhealthy obsession with music and songwriting. There's just one problem. I've got stage fright. Like crippling only sing to my capybara plushies stage fright. But this trip to Korea flipped everything upside down. I was wandering through the market, munching on some tteokbokki, when this sketchy ajusi popped out of nowhere. I got chills and bolted, but he got the joint of a bull as he chased me through the whole market. Plot twist? I tripped and fell into a seafood tank full of king crabs.
Why are you running like a ghost is chasing you? And why are you in the tank?
Why were you chasing me in the first place?
Because I'm from Lumino Entertainment, the biggest agency in Korea. I'm inviting you to audition for our new training program tomorrow.
Why me?
Because you've got visuals that shine. I mean, picture yourself next to One Young, iconic.
Okay, I'll admit my ego loved that, so I thought, why not give it a shot? But the audition came and I almost missed my shot by oversleeping. Then it got worse. I bumped into someone on my way there, spilling coffee all over their bright white shirt. And guess who it was? Freaking Jay, the Jay of Asterisk. Holy guacamole, he looked even less real in person. Like Photoshop had nothing on him.
What the heck? Do you know how expensive this shirt is?
I'm so sorry. I'll pay for the dry cleaning. Jay took off his shirt right there, six-pack on display, and shoved the shirt to me.
Forget it. Just replace it with the same Louis Vuitton. Limited edition one.
He snapped his fingers and his manager appeared with a brand new designer shirt. I completely grimaced, but there was no time to stress. I had an audition to go to. I made it just in time, only to nearly pass out to find out Jay was one of the judges. He was now acting all sweet and charming like Glinda the Good Witch instead of the Alphaba, the Wicked Witch of the West he'd thrown my way before. I stepped in the spotlight, my stage fright kicked in hard. But I forced myself to stay calm and started singing. It's time to try defying gravity. I think I'll try defying gravity. And you can't pull me down. The room erupted into laughter and I wanted to crawl into a hole. I'm definitely failing this audition. But then Jay cleared his throat. Everyone went quiet instantly.
You've got talent and passion. You just need to work harder. As music is a dream worth chasing for.
That hit me hard. It was like he saw me. For real. Like we were on the same wavelength. Maybe, just a maybe, I still had a shot at becoming a trainee and standing on the same stage as Jay one day. But then he failed me. Yep, didn't let me through. Was he testing me though? Maybe. But I wasn't about to give up. I decided to stay in Korea and went full FBI mode online. Turns out Jay attended this elite arts high school. I applied without much thinking and got in. Day one at school and my jaw hit the floor. The students here were straight up webtoon characters, but Jay was still undefeated. I tried to approach him, but his fan club shoved me aside. I got no chance. To make things worse, the classes at school were brutal. Singing, dancing, rapping, hosting, makeup, hairstyling, even posing for social media photos. Every subject demanded performing in front of a crowd. And I was dead last in everything. Total flop. Jay was barely around thanks to his packed group schedule. On the rare days he did show up, I called those my lucky days. Jay, I don't get this part. Can you help me?
Ask the teacher then. Who even are you?
Ouch. Before I could process the burn, the teacher announced a group project for the end of term exam. Guess who I got partnered with? That's right, Jay. Yay!
Don't worry, ma'am. I'll make sure this one improves.
Even the teacher melted seeing him smile, and I was on cloud 9 until we started practicing.
Wrong. Again. How can you mess up something so simple?
I scrambled to apologize, but Jay just walked off, clearly done with me. After that, he avoided me like the plague. He He got the teacher to move my seat because I chewed my eraser too loudly, called security when I accidentally wandered into the boys' locker room, and refused to practice with me unless he had his exact dance shoes and his personal mic. So I trained alone. One night, I sat down to write a song and started singing without realizing it. When I finished, I found Jay standing at the door. He looked stunned.
How did you sing like that? Do it again.
I tried, but this time my voice was terrible.
Guess I heard wrong earlier.
The final evaluation was closing in and we still hadn't practiced together. Desperate, I went to his dorm at school. When I got there, a group of fangirls were sneaking inside his room. Then I heard Jay scream. I ran in to find him wearing nothing but a towel, fans shoving gifts at him and getting way too handsy. Panicking, I shouted, "The dorm advisor's coming!" The girls bolted out of there like maniacs. Jay collapsed and panted. I stepped closer to check on him, but he brushed me off.
Why can't you people just leave me alone?
I tried to explain, but he wasn't listening. He got even more furious and trashed the fangirls' gifts, throwing him out the window and roared at me.
Get out!
The door slammed shut in my face. I was too stunned to react. The next day, the fangirls discovered their gifts in the trash and dragged Jay through the mud, calling him ungrateful and disrespectful to fans. When Jay arrived at school, people whispered and pointed. Reporters even swarmed him at the entrance.
Jay, did you really throw away fans' letters?
Do you think fangirls' gifts aren't good enough because they're not luxury brands? I was fuming at those provocative questions, but Jay kept his head down, trying to endure it all. I did it! I'm the one who threw the gifts away!
And? Who are you?
Who I am doesn't matter. What matters is those so-called fans broke into Jay's room without permission. That's not okay! The crowd turned on the fangirls instantly. Security arrived to break up the chaos and the girls were dragged to the principal's office. They got suspended immediately and things settled down. During an after-school practice as I was lost in my singing, Jay suddenly appeared.
I knew it. You've got an amazing voice. Why do you always hide it?
I don't know. I've always been afraid of crowds.
Then why do you stand up for me? It's nice. Having someone on my side for once. I've been facing everything alone for so long.
That's when he told me the truth. What it really meant to be an idol. The exhausting schedules that drained him. The constant need to smile and play perfect for the cameras. Over time, it stopped being about the music. It all shifted to pleasing the fans, even when they crossed the line. They stalked him everywhere, crashing family dinners for selfies, posting unflattering photos as jokes, causing chaos at airports, sending creepy gifts, even yanking him off stage mid-performance. It was unbearable.
But I keep going. Maybe one day, they'll see me for my music, not just my looks.
I didn't know what came over me. I hugged him. Sorry, I think you're amazing. You shouldn't hide that from the world. From that day on, Jay changed. He talked to his company about setting boundaries with fans. He started showing up to our every practice, helping me to face my fear.
Just pretend the audience is a bunch of pumpkins.
I giggled, then naturally started humming the melody. Jay, my pumpkin audience, stood there, his eyes never leaving me.
It'd be a waste if no one got to hear you.
By the day of the evaluation, my stage fright was gone, and Jay and I absolutely nailed our performance. A producer even approached us afterward, offering to produce a collab track. Of course we said yes. We spent days and nights in the studio writing and recording. One time, as we played piano together, our hands accidentally brushed. My heart skipped a beat. I looked up to see Jay smiling, his gaze locked on me.
You've got something on your face.
He gently brushed a strand of hair off my cheek, his face inches from mine. My cheeks burned. I panicked, slipped off the bench, and landed with a thud. Jay couldn't stop laughing. Then his phone rang, his manager reminding him of group rehearsals. Asterisk is about to hold a concert, and the ticket sales website opens today. I instantly rushed to the internet cafe, diving into the ticket war. I spammed F5 like my life depended on it, but still came up empty-handed. When I got home, a concert ticket was waiting for me on the desk, signed by Jay with a note.
See you there. I've got a surprise for you.
That was the concert from the start of this story. Now do you believe me that the song was for me? It felt like the whole stadium melted away. Like we were the only two people in the world. My heart was a mess of emotions. The concert ended, but I was still on cloud 9. Suddenly a hand grabbed me, pulling me into a narrow alley. It was Jay, completely disguised, signaling me to stay quiet.
Did you hear the song I wrote for you?
Not really. Sing it again?
How about this? Be my girlfriend, and I'll sing for you every day.
Huh? Was I hearing him right? But what about his career?
I know this is sudden. Being with someone like me won't be easy. You'll face a lot of challenges. But I can't hold back my feelings anymore. You make me better, Rena. You've helped me rediscover my music. So, what do you say?
I say yes. I hugged him and we kissed just as camera flashes exploded all around us. Reporters swarmed the alley. Fangirls showed up too, shooting furious dagger-like glares at us. Jay grabbed my hand. We sprinted out, jumped into his car, and he dropped me off at the dorm.
It's gonna be alright. You stay inside for a few days. Wait for me to fix this, okay?
But after that night, Jay vanished. My calls went unanswered. My heart was in chaos as I scrolled through the news. Photos of us were everywhere. Netizens attacked me relentlessly, accusing me of ruining everything and stealing Jay from them. Meanwhile, Jay faced demands to leave the group for betraying his fans. They even tore down his posters and cut him out of group photos. Unable to sit still, I went to the studio, the only place that felt like home. The producer, thankfully unfazed by scandals, let me finish the song Jay and I had started. I poured everything into it, hoping one day we'd share the stage again. Then Jay called, his voice heavy. He told me the company had forbidden him from seeing me and was forcing him to end things with me.
But I won't give up, no matter how hard this gets. Trust me, I'll deal with it.
I trust you, and I miss you a lot, Jay. The day of the song launch came. Jay wasn't there. I took the stage alone, poured my heart into the performance, and earned a standing ovation. But even with the applause, I felt hollow. Then chaos struck. Fangirls burst in, screaming that I didn't deserve to be there. You have no right to force me to follow your selfish demands. What's between Jay and me has nothing to do with the work I've done here. I worked hard for this song. I won't let you destroy it out of spite. Security tried to intervene, but the crowd wouldn't calm down. Just then, the doors burst open. Jay stormed in.
Stop, right now! I'm done letting others control my life and the people I care about.
He walked straight onto the stage and took my hand firmly in his.
I'm leaving the group. From now on, I'll make music on my own terms, with Rena by my side. If you love me for my music, stay. If not, leave.
Fans glanced at each other stunned. Slowly, most of them walked out. Only a few stayed, but for Jay, that was enough. As long as there's someone who wants to hear Jay sing, he'll sing with all his heart. And so, Jay and I decided to start our own band. We were truly happy, finally creating music the way we wanted. At first, it was tough. Really tough. But little by little, we won over the audience with our hard work and the unique sound that was entirely ours. Before long, we sold out our first concert. The stadium was packed, the energy electric. Jay and I performed like our lives depended on it, pouring everything into every note, every beat. When the final song ended, Jay grabbed my hand and pulled me close. Then he kissed me, right there on stage. It felt like fireworks exploding inside me, brighter and louder than I ever imagined. I was trying my best to stay awake during what had to be the most boring school assembly ever. The principal was saying something important, I guessed. I popped in my earbuds and started grooving to the music. It's M to the B, M to the B, M to the B. I stopped when I realized everyone was staring at me, including Eve. She looked like she turned to stone from the embarrassment of my outburst in front of the whole school. I thought there were some ants crawling in my pants. Then some random guy stood up and shouted,
"It's M to the B! It's M to the B! Bang!"
The crowd burst into laughter, breaking the monotony of the assembly. Oopsie. Hi there, I'm Emily, and I always find it hard to focus on anything for too long. How long is too long? I think about 5 or 10 seconds. Honestly, my life's full of problems, but the story I want to tell you today is a big one. I'm the youngest in a family of 5 sisters, and we're all the same age. My mom had quintuplets. That was the talk of the town back in the day. All 5 of us were cute as buttons, but the buzz died down pretty quickly because our family was poor, and to top it off, Mom was a single mom. She didn't really take care of us. We had to take care of each other, and Eve, my 4th sister, was the closest to me. All my sisters were star students at school, but for me, studying was a bit of a challenge. Not because I wasn't smart, though. Once I saw a squirrel doing a funny dance on a tree branch. I couldn't help but giggle to myself. Emily, can you tell me who the first president of the United States was? George Washington. That's right. Can you tell me more about him? I'm not really sure, but it reminds me of this time with Eve. She once made me jump over a puddle that I thought was the Delaware River, and... Emily, stay on topic. We're learning about the American Revolution. Oh, right. I mumbled an apology, but my mind had already drifted away. Eve seemed to be the only one who understood me. Then I had a health checkup at school, and Eve convinced the doctors to give me a more thorough exam because, well, Mom didn't have the money for that kind of thing. Afterward, we got the news that I had attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. or ADHD for short. Eve seemed worried when she heard the news, but I wasn't. I was totally thrilled. Like maybe I had something special in me. Could I be a superhero or something? Back home, before Eve could tell Mom about my diagnosis, we saw our 3 other sisters getting into a fancy black car and driving away. They didn't say a word to Eve or me. Where are they going, Mom? Oh, they're going to a relative's house, to get adopted. Don't worry, they'll come back for the holidays. I don't really get it. Maybe they were going on a trip. But Eve looked disappointed and put my medical report away without telling Mom. My sweet little Emily, you're too naive and silly for any family to want you. I need Eve to stay and take care of you. But my sisters never came back for the holidays. Don't worry, they'll be fine. That family is really wealthy. After that day, everything changed. Mom had money, she bought us nice clothes and good food, but she often came home late, leaving us alone. Eve became everything to me. She was always the one waking up early to make me delicious breakfast, even though she stayed up late studying the night before. Sometimes I caught Eve crying by herself, but she always said, everything will be okay. And I believed her. Everyone loved her. Eve was smart, beautiful, and had a bright future ahead of her. I often got snacks from boys who wanted to impress Eve. I was totally fine with that, even if she was the shining star and I was just a little firefly. Did you know that fireflies are carnivorous insects and they even eat snails? Oh, focus, Emily. One evening we were sitting at the kitchen table and Eve was trying to help me with my homework. Emily, focus! We're doing fractions. Oh, right, fractions. Just like pizza. Can we have pizza for dinner? Focus! If you cut a pizza into 8 slices and you've eaten 3, how many slices are left? 5. But no way could I eat that much at once. Good, so you've eaten 3/8 of the pizza. Oh, got it. But as soon as Eve turned back to her homework, I went back to doodling a superhero version of myself on the next page. I have to save the world from boring math. Eve shook her head, but she was smiling. You're impossible, you know that? I know, but you still love me, right? Yeah, of course I do. I knew that as long as I had Eve by my side, I could do anything. One day, we woke up to an announcement in the neighborhood, and Eve nearly screamed the roof off when she found out she'd been selected to join the Young Mayor Talent Training Program. From that day on, Eve was busy with meetings and community activities, which meant she didn't have much time for me anymore. But I was happy for her. Her brilliance was finally being recognized. I followed Eve's progress closely and noticed that the other candidates were pretty impressive too. That's when I came up with a brilliant idea. I went to the biggest wall in the neighborhood, dumped out all the spray paint cans I could find, and got to work. After wrestling with the wall for a while, I finished my masterpiece, a campaign mural. Eve was written in huge, bold letters with stars and hearts all around it. Vote for Eve! A bunch of people gathered around whispering and even taking pictures. I proudly posed with my creation. Eve was going to be so happy. But that night, Eve came home looking exhausted. As soon as she saw me, she burst into tears. You can't just paint on the wall like that! That's vandalism! We could get into serious trouble! I just wanted to help you. There are plenty of ways to help. Sitting still and not causing chaos would be a big help. I'm so tired of dealing with your messes! Please! I was upset that she scolded me, but I was even more upset that I'd let Eve down. My big idea had only made things worse. Stupid Emily. I tried to clean up the wall, but the paint was too stubborn. My hands burned from scrubbing over and over, but I wasn't going to give up. I knew I had messed up Eve's campaign. Let me help you. I turned around and saw my sister standing there holding a big bucket. Let's repaint the wall together. Only Eve could always figure out how to help me. I nodded eagerly, flashing a big smile. Things get easier when you have someone who knows how to think differently. The next morning, I woke up to the sound of shouting and chaos outside. I rushed to the window and saw a crowd gathering on the street. Statues were toppled, chairs were smashed, and public property was covered in graffiti. What happened? We pushed our way into the crowd to find out. Vandals attacked the neighborhood last night. As everyone was deep in thought, a man pointed straight at me and shouted,
It could have been that girl. She did something like that just the other day.
I didn't do it! No, Emily was with me all night! I swear on my honor! There was no need to prove anything further. That night, the vandals struck again. People saw that there were 3 of them, but no one had been able to catch them because they were too quick, disappearing into the night like shadows. Because of all the chaos, Eve had trouble sleeping, and everyone knew that whoever caught the vandals would be a hero in the neighborhood. Knowing for sure that Eve would stop me if I told her my plan, I waited until she was fast asleep before sneaking out of the house. I swiftly made my way through the dark streets, determined to find the vandals. After wandering for a while, I finally spotted them. There were indeed 3 of them, huddled together, discussing something. They looked about my age. Smashing up public property was probably just their way of expressing themselves. As I got closer to eavesdrop, I tripped over a rock and fell with a loud thud. They immediately turned around and saw me.
What do we have here? A little spy?
A spy? That actually sounds kinda cool. I was just passing by.
Oh look, isn't that the girl who did the wall painting a few days ago? Ah, so it's her. That painting was terrible, but I gotta admit, it was bold.
My mind had never worked so fast in my life. To avoid getting punched or something worse, I blurted out, "I'm just like you guys, let me join your group!" They looked at me skeptically, like they were waiting for a more convincing answer. I'm sick of being underestimated by everyone. They talked it over for a bit and finally agreed. These guys were pretty gullible. So I'd officially become a cool spy like in the movies. And now I just needed to figure out how to trick them into a trap.
Who's there?
A flashlight beam shone from a distance, causing the group to panic. They scattered in all directions trying to escape.
Hey idiot, run before you get caught!
I remembered that I was supposed to be one of them now, so I bolted. I dashed through alleys and narrow streets, my breath coming in quick gasps. I squeezed into the gap between 2 buildings, hiding until the sound of footsteps faded away. I climbed back through the window into my room, trying not to wake my sister. Phew, finally made it. I turned on the light and nearly jumped out of my skin when I saw Eve sitting on my bed, arms crossed, looking super serious. "Where have you been?" I went for a walk. "At midnight? I just heard that people spotted the vandals in the park and now you come back looking all dirty and suspicious?" "I was helping chase them off. Yeah, that's it." Eve put her hands on her head and sighed. "I must be worrying too much. I'm sorry. Go to bed early. Good night, Eve. If anything's wrong, you'll tell me, right?" I felt a bit guilty. I wanted to tell her everything, but I couldn't risk it. Not yet. Eve seemed reassured and went back to her room after seeing me nod like crazy. A few days later, some new rumors started circulating at school. Statues and mannequins had been stolen from the art room, and everyone believed the vandals had broken into the school. The more the rumors spread, the more uneasy I felt. That night, I had another meeting with the vandals at the park to plan their next heist. Sitting in class, I was restless, tapping my pencil nonstop. Maybe I could turn this into a rhythm, right?
"Emily, this is the 3rd time you've disrupted class. Stay after school to copy the school rules in my office."
Great, another detention. I was used to it by now. But before the bell rang to end detention, I got a text from Eve that made my heart drop. I had to get home immediately.
"Emily, get back here!"
The teacher grabbed my arm, but I struggled free. "I'm sorry, but I really have to go!"
"You're expelled, Emily!"
I ran out of there. Nothing could scare me now because something much worse was waiting for me at home. I burst into my room to find Eve absolutely furious, holding the white cloth I'd used to cover up my secret. "How did you find out?" "There's a huge pile of them right here, Emily! Why did you steal them? Why are you involved with those vandals? I defended you to everyone and now this?" "Eve, I didn't steal them, I just borrowed them." Eve shook her head and started crying. "I give up. I'm dropping out of the program. I can't focus on that when I can't even keep my little sister out of trouble." Eve left the room and I couldn't say anything. I knew what I had to do now. It was time to act, not explain. I gathered up all the statues and mannequins and loaded them onto a cart, hauling them to the park. I carefully placed each one back where it belonged. Next, I set up the lights, doing my best to make sure everything was perfect. As night fell, I waited for the vandals to arrive.
The new recruit is right on time.
Just a little nervous, that's all. They approached the benches in the park, pulling out their spray paint cans just as I flipped the switch for the lights. In the darkness, the statues looked like real people standing in the park. The vandals froze in their tracks, caught completely off guard.
Run! What are you waiting for?
Hold on. They're not moving and they're not shouting. Is someone messing with us?
Seeing my plan starting to fall apart, I tried to keep it together. "Ghosts! They're ghosts! Run!" It actually worked. The vandals freaked out and tried to escape, but they were surrounded. "This way!" I shouted, leading them toward a dark spot with no lights. But they triggered the trap I had set up earlier. A net dropped down from the trees and the vandals were caught, struggling helplessly in the net. Gotcha! The first person to arrive was Eve, followed by the police and the neighbors. They were all marveling at what I'd done. They took pictures and showered me with praise. "Did you do all of this?" "Yep, I told you I could help." Eve hugged me tightly. "Wow, looks like I finally didn't mess up this time." "You're amazing! I'm so proud of you!" As the police took the vandals away and the mannequins were returned to school, the park returned to its usual peaceful state. Even I found a bench and sat down. Now you can focus on taking on the other candidates again. I've decided to drop out of the race. What? Why? You were doing so well. You're more important to me than any race or title. I want to spend more time taking care of my silly little sister. I won't get mad or yell at you anymore. I hugged Eve, feeling incredibly happy. I promise I won't get into any more trouble. Wait, I think I just got expelled today. What? Emily! Ah! You're so beautiful, baby! I have never seen such a beautiful dress in my life! I have to try it out! Oh my, anyone can be a queen wearing it! But I had to accept the truth that I was broke. My meager salary prevented me from getting that dress. I said goodbye and left the store. Hold her back! What the? When I heard the staff scream, I turned around and saw her pointing directly at me. Before I could do anything, a stout security man jumped up and pinned me to the ground. What the hell is that? Oh, no. I just want to call her back to return this bag. You forgot it, ma'am. She said and put a Chanel bag into my hand. Wait, something was wrong here. They bowed down to apologize to me while I was still bewildered about what had happened. But this bag isn't mine. Hi, I'm Zayla. Please like and subscribe to MDA. I was interning at a local hospital, and my big dream was to become a doctor. I have a pretty special life. Why? Because I often get into little troubles around. Pretty bad luck, right? Leave a comment if you're like me. And here, a Chanel bag fell from the sky. I wondered if it was good luck or bad luck. Should I go back to that store or keep it to myself? I'm just kidding.
Miss Zayla!
I jumped when I heard someone call my name. But before I could turn around to see where the voice came from, my surroundings suddenly went dark. What's that?
You better keep quiet if you don't want to get hurt.
Oh my god! Why was life always so unfair to me? Was I kidnapped? What did I do wrong? Ouch! My whole body ached. When the hooding was removed, I realized they had just thrown me inside a van. My back was soaked with sweat. But before I could scream, I heard them whisper.
Why would you do that to a girl? This is rude. Are you hurt?
Pardon me? What if I just heard from a kidnapper? Did he just worry about me?
We were hired to kidnap you. Yes, I went to do a little background check. You're Zayla, right? You just held a limited edition Chanel bag, right? Let's see. Zayla Sharn?
Stop! I'm not Zayla. Charm or someone you guys are looking for. You caught the wrong person.
What the hell? My gosh, it's you!
Don't talk nonsense. Look! Ouch!
Oh, for Christ's sake. Why didn't you say so earlier?
You wouldn't let me.
What should we do now? Let her go? No, it's all your fault. Why don't you check carefully? How could I have expected it?
Gosh, 2 idiots. What the hell was wrong with them? If you don't let me go, I will scream this car down.
Wait, take it easy. We need to discuss.
When they continued blaming each other, a loud noise startled us. The car door creaked shut. A second later, I saw 2 hands reaching in and trying to pry open the door. What else was there? Don't tell me the next will be the heroic rescue of the beauty. So behind that door would be a handsome guy? Okay, I'm waiting. Okay, that's enough. More than enough for today. Can I go now?
Hey, it's just that I happened to see the displeasure. Hope I'm not too late.
After I heard that voice, a handsome guy appeared in front of me. Wow, looked like things weren't that bad.
I need to rescue this girl. If you refuse to cooperate, I will... No, please, take this girl away. Well, it's not as dramatic as I thought it would be. Huh?
I didn't know how to react to this. At first, I was mistakenly kidnapped by 2 idiots, then this ridiculous guy showed up. Please explain to me what the hell is going on. After that event, Kyle put a tail on me. That's right, it was Kyle, the guy who rescued me.
I've never met a pretty girl like you. I will follow you to the ends of the earth.
Holy mama! Someone help me! He kept following me, which made me furious. Stop! Wait, I've never been in a situation like this before. Why are you... Ugh! Right. He said that I was different from the girls he had met before. Who knows? For your information, Kyle is 2 years younger than me, handsome and energetic. There's another important thing that made me think my fate had changed. That was Kyle's super rich. He attended the best private schools and often traveled around the world with his dad. Such a dream life, right? One day, Kyle asked me to go to the movies, and I agreed.
Here, try it on.
Kyle said, and handed me a gift bag. Was this how a billionaire treated their girlfriend? Brilliant! I took the gift and thanked Kyle, because why not? When we got to the theater, I realized no one was there. Are we too late?
No, I paid for the whole theater.
To my surprise, Kyle took my hand and went inside. Is that a horror movie?
Right. If you are scared, I will protect you.
No, I'm not saying I'm scared, but he didn't tell me that. He was scared.
I didn't think it would be that scary.
His form made me laugh. I realized he's very cute though. Did I fall for him? After that, we started to date more, until one day, I decided to tell him about my family. Class differences were something I've been thinking about since we've known each other.
It couldn't stop my love for you.
I didn't reply to him. I was not brave enough to accept his love. One night, Kyle surprised me. While I was sitting in my room doing homework, I suddenly received a text from him. Look out the window. Out of curiosity, I walked over to the window and looked down. Kyle was standing there in the middle of a giant heart made of rose petals.
Zayla, will you be my girlfriend?
Do you need a doctor to take care of you for the rest of your life?
I don't care about anything. As long as you love me, Zayla, I can do everything for us to be together.
Well, looks like he has already stolen my heart. I smiled and nodded. Life with Kyle was amazing. He took me everywhere and gave me lots of clothes and jewelry. But I was afraid other people would think I came to Kyle for a purpose.
Don't mind them. You deserve it.
But day by day, I realized Kyle was obsessed with it. I mean, he started acting strangely. He always required me to wear nice clothes and expensive jewelry every time we went on a date. On one occasion, he even sulked when I was dressed in casual clothes when he came to pick me up.
Where are the dresses I gave you? Why don't you wear them?
I just want to be comfortable.
No, I want you to wear the clothes I bought for you. Please.
Although I agreed with him, I doubted if Kyle was trying to hide the truth that I was just a girl from a normal family. Was he embarrassed that I was not from a wealthy one? Things took a turn for the worse when we ran into Kyle's father on the street. He was a stern man with his face as cold as an iceberg. I even stayed behind Kyle as he approached us.
This must be Zayla Sharn. My pleasure. That's right. She's my girlfriend. Oh, right. Don't you want to make the guest list for your upcoming birthday party? I have a few things to discuss with you.
Zayla Charn? The name sounded familiar, but I couldn't remember where I've heard it. Although that name kept floating in my head, Kyle's strange attitude made me doubt more. One day, I was invited to his father's birthday party. Knowing that this was the best way to find out, I accepted. It was the most epic birthday party I've ever known, with flowers, presents, and lights. I met famous movie actors, musicians, and even directors I never thought I would meet in person. The guests were coming more and more. Hey yo, is this Zayla? Did you just come back from France? Sorry, I thought you were studying abroad. Did you remember? The woman stopped talking as the crowd behind her began to riot. I heard someone say loudly that Miss Zayla Charn had arrived, and Kyle's father rushed out to greet them.
Oh, my old friend. Long time no see. Come here. Kyle is over there. You look better in this dress.
Zayla Charn? That name again. In the crowd, I tried to tiptoe to see the girl's face. Just a little more. Just a little more. She looked exactly like me. How can it be? It's impossible. From the appearance to the name, I was so shocked that my whole body trembled. Suddenly, the woman from earlier shouted in panic. Oh my god! They're identical! Are they doppelgangers? As the crowd roared, I saw Miss Zayla's face turn red. Then she got angry and yelled at me. You are the imposter who took my Chanel bag. The staff showed me the CCTV. Unbelievable. I was speechless as many flashlights were shining directly at me. Suddenly, Kyle rushed over and stood in front of me.
Stop. She is my girlfriend. Kyle, she is an imposter. The one you have to marry is Zayla Sharn, not this girl. I know you have arranged the kidnapping for me to rescue Miss Zayla, but Dad, I love this girl, and we are getting married. Kyle.
Oh my god, it's so horrible! The crowd was once again chaotic. Kyle and I rushed to the side of the man curled up on the ground. He was struggling with a heart attack. Everyone, stay away! He needs air to breathe. Kyle stammered out his father's name and kept apologizing. I could see his hand shaking. Kyle, I can do it. Trust me. Then, Kyle nodded at me firmly and stood up.
We have a doctor here. Everyone spread out.
I did basic first aid on him, giving him artificial breathing. Okay, you can do it, Zayla. I did everything until the ambulance came and took him to the hospital. Kyle and I also went there soon after. While sitting on the waiting bench, Kyle told me everything. From the secret that his father made up the kidnapping so that Kyle and Miss Zayla got to know each other, to the confusion due to our similar looks, then Kyle had a hard time making the decision to lie to his father. But all that doesn't matter now. I just hope Kyle's father was well. After a while, the doctor pushed open the door and informed us.
The patient has regained consciousness. The relatives can come inside.
His words made us burst with joy. We immediately rushed into the room.
Luckily, he was given first aid in time. If there were a 1-second delay, it would have been life-threatening. Thank you.
I quickly approached and grabbed his hand. He smiled gently and put my hand in Kyle's. Looked at him, tears welling up in his eyes. After that, Kyle and I became a couple with no more secrets between us.
I hope you know CPR, doctor.
What happened to you?
Because you're taking my breath away.
So in that way, we were full of happiness. How about you? Let me hear your story.